Hi everyone, this is Tony from digitalradiomarketing.com. In this video, we are going to talk about Search Analytics tool in Google Search Console, also known as Google Webmaster Tools. So Search Analytics tool is pretty new. This was introduced back in 2015, May 2015. And Google used to have search queries report instead of this Search Analytics report. And it's a little bit confusing because there is Google Analytics. So you might get a little confused when people talk about Search Analytics and Google Analytics. They are two different things. But in any case, so this Search Analytics tool seems to be more precise according to the blog on Google Webmaster Central blog. And it also has a list of things that are different from the search queries report. So in case if you're interested, I will put this two websites URL in the video notes so you can take a look at them. Now back to Search Analytics tool itself. In this video, I want to just give you a general overview and give you a few tips on what you should look for. But really, since there are so many things you can do with this tool, we will talk about what you can actually do in other videos. So first thing first, obviously here's a list of queries for digitalradiomarketing.com for this particular date. And you can change the date to up to last 90 days. You can also compare, depending on what date range you want to compare. And of course, you can just reset it to the current view in case you change it with the filter. And the idea here is really you want to look at the trend. Okay, as you can see for digitalradiomarketing.com, it has a really strong weekly trend. Okay, during the week there are a lot more people coming to the site in comparison to the weekends, and so that's why you see all this up and down, and this is clicks, as you can see here. Then you can of course add other things here, so impression, click-through rate, and position. So impression essentially is the number of times your page show up on certain keywords. And here's the average click-through rate. Ideally, you should see more than 2% or 2.5. That would be a pretty nice click-through rate, but 1.7 is not too bad on average. Position is pretty bad, to be honest. And ideally, you should see a little better, even though this is including brand and non-brand keywords. So what you can do is you can look into your brand term and see if there is any term. In this case, as the closest is digital ready, and you can see it had impression on 24, position on 30, which is not impressive, but still it seems like it does show up for that particular term that's close to the brand term. But if you have a really strong brand presence, you should really look into how well your brand term is doing. And ideally for that, you should see a really high position, because when people type in your business name, you should see that on the first page, obviously. In this instance, obviously, digital radio marketing is not a very well-known brand, unfortunately, for me, but I'm working on it, obviously. But at this point, it seems like that's the kind of brand, close to brand related terms that is showing up. So this is the kind of thing you can do to kind of look into what kind of queries your site shows up, and if there's certain things you want to sort of zoom in and take a look at. Then of course you can look at it at the page level also. So if there's a certain page that you work on recently, you want to see if it has an improved click or impression, and of course click-through rate. So as you can see for this one, it has a pretty good click-through rate, quite a bit of impression as well, even the position is on first page. So those are the kind of things you can see with this tool here. Then actually before we go to that, you can also filter based on the URL. Like I said, you can compare two different pages if you want to do that, and of course you can reset it. Then moving on to countries. If you happen to target different countries, and in this case, as you can see, digitalradiomarketing.com shows up on various countries other than United States. And you can really zoom in and see, okay, which other countries that are coming to the site with which particular queries. And of course, we have to come back here. And this is the queries for United Kingdom. So here's the particular queries that are showing up on google.co.uk. And we can try another one again. So here's India. And then if you want to filter them based on the page, here's the pages. Then of course device, and now device is getting more and more important because people are not only using desktop, but they're using mobile and tablet more these days. So if you want to make sure that your site is showing up on mobile, you can actually check them here to see, okay, how many impressions am I getting on mobile for that particular date, for that particular, so you can really zoom in, and for that particular country, as you can see here. Let's go back to the United States here. So that is that, and search web type. So there's web, image, and video. So if your pages shows up on image search or video search, this is where you will show up and tell you, okay, under what kind of queries your website is showing up for that particular video search. So in case if you are really heavily doing, say, an image search, image optimization, you can see the improvements here. And one thing to talk about is you can see here images, you don't really get a lot of clicks. As you can see, a lot of impressions for that particular image there. There's a very low click. So in case you come to image, you see there's a lot of impression, not too many clicks, don't freak out. That's just the way it is when it comes to images. But that's where you can filter into different types of search. And then of course we talked about earlier dates. So by combining all these filtering options, you can really zoom in and do quite spectacular things. And you can also use it for troubleshooting and things like that. So not only optimization but troubleshooting, and also, of course you want to really track your performance of your site, and this is a really good place to sort of start with when it comes to, okay, how am I doing with my organic search? And this is also the tool that I use when I have a new client. If they don't have this tool, I set it up for them. If they already have it, then we take a look and do a quick analysis. So as I said, we will use this tool to do various other things in other videos, and hope I see you in those other videos. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.